Okay.
We're on.
Okay. We'll call the special town board meeting at Wednesday, June 15th, 2022 at 2:04 p.m. First thing, Elisa, would you call the roll call, please?
Sure. Supervisor Beal. Here. And Supervisor Plotecker.
Here.
Chairman Osterman on Zoom.
Here.
And Supervisor Quinn on Zoom.
Here.
And Administrator Nicholas.
Here.
Clerk Capuzzo to record the minutes. And Engineer Don Neitzel, are you on Zoom as well?
I am on by phone, yes.
Okay, could we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next are citizens' comments. Is there any citizen who wishes to speak at this time? No. Okay, next we'll go to new business. It's A is discussion and necessary action regarding bid award for removal of spoil piles located at Lisbon Business Park East.
So we have in front of you the bids that came in this morning, and I have Don online that will take it from here.
Okay, so as Kathy said, we opened bids this morning at 10 o'clock for removing these spoil piles. They sit just west off of Richard Road. They're the original pile from that site that got transferred when Whitecoff got built, when the Whitecoff Corporation built. So put together a bid package, put it out to bid. We had about 10 plan holders, 10 companies on the plan holders list that were looking at the plans. We thought we'd have probably 4 or 5 bids. As it turns out, we got 2. Based upon that, I ended up calling a number of contractors following the bid opening, just trying to find out why they didn't bid. Most of them, it came down to the timing of it. If we would have given them later into the fall or winter to get rid of the majority of it, there would have been more interest. A couple of them just could not get the amount of trucks required to move that. Some trucks out there right now are kind of hard to come by. So in that event, we got 2 bids, one at $825,000 from Musson Brothers, and the other one at $820,000 from Super Western, who is basically the same contractor that's doing the water main work right now, going from Business Park East to Hamilton High School. So it's in 2 sections. The first section is the part that's on Polyak trucking site. There's a portion of it there, and then the majority of it's on that vacant land between Polyak and Wyckoff. And the way the bid was structured was the stuff on Polyak site was to be off of that by the 4th of July. And then the remaining stuff, I think we gave them not until the end of August. Might have been the end of July. I don't have a spec book with me right now, but we gave them about another month and a half to get the remainder of that gone. And that's the way the bids came in for this, which obviously are high. Back in 2019, I know a price was given for the original pile that was there, $350,000 to load and haul it away, and there was about $250,000 in tipping fees. So that would have added up to about $600,000 back in 19. I think that was in October of 19. You had got that. So that's kind of where it sits, and that's the decision that's before you today of whether or not to award a contract or not. Any questions?
So
we stripped the lot for the one on the corner, Wyckoff? Is that what you say, the spoils, is it from this lot too?
No, there was an original pile on the lead site when the town purchased it. There was a pile there. This has to be old road construction debris is my guess. So whether when they're digging new road that this is from that, but this was on that site when the town purchased that property. It was a pile right along Main Street, kind of in the northwest corner of that site. When Wyckoff went in, a portion of that pile was on their site, so they moved that, and that's what is left is what's sitting on these two parcels.
The Wyckoff moved it over. They weren't required to, obviously, to get rid of it altogether, correct?
Correct.
Is it normally done that way, Don?
Well, I don't know. I can't remember exactly the language in your development agreement with Wyckoff, but the pile was there pre-existing, so I'm sure, Wyckoff or their developer would have wanted to get paid to get rid of it as well. So basically they moved it from their site and just didn't move it totally off Business Park East. They just relocated it.
Thank you.
So Polyap Trucking had, when we sold them the land, we told them that we would get the pile off of that property. And they gave me a kind of a drop dead date of July 4th. So they want to start their final grading and so they can start their parking lot and start getting their trucks over there. And so that's where the deadline came in for the soil that is on Polyax. And if we were going to move that, the idea was to move the whole amount, but we had no idea that it was going to come out to be over $800,000.
The other two lots that are on the east side of Richard, that was in that agreement too, that we have to pay to remove it, correct?
Are you talking about the 24 acres?
Mhm.
They don't have anything on there. It's only on those two properties. It's on the property, the Polyak property and the
Mhm.
property between Polyak and Wyckoff, just that side of the
Oh, I
Richard
gotcha.
Road.
I gotcha. All right, thank you.
So we're on a time crunch with the trucking company.
Right, but not with the other parcel.
How long
We
would
were-
they say it will take them? When will we be doing that?
Well, at this price, Don, correct me, this price, they were gonna get it done, by sometime in August.
I thought
The
they
whole
had to do
pile.
by July 4th.
Well, they're gonna get the
That-
portion off of Polyax by July 4th.
Gotcha. That's what I was asking. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
And is that section A on our bids?
Yes.
Section A, yes, that was the lower amount. Yes, Super Western's bid for that I think was 149,000.
Yes.
Right.
Don, what would it take to just move what's on the Polyak property and push it over to the portion that the town still owns, the future Forester parcel?
I mean, obviously cheaper than 149,000. I mean, I could ask Super Western what it would cost to do that. My guess is, Joe, we're probably still going to be over the 25,000 threshold. That are we going to have to go out and bid it again? A decision for you guys, but unless Polyak's their grading contractor wants to do it and somehow work a deal out with the city.
Yeah. I think I think that's why they contacted me, was they wanted to have it removed before they did their part. I do have the low bid from Super Western. He's here if you wanted to ask that same question. Would you like to propose that question to the low bidder?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Who's there, Chad or Josh or?
Josh.
So Josh, if you guys were just to take that pile off that southern site, that section, I think it was section 1, you got a ballpark estimate in terms of what it would take just to move that to that parcel to the north? Just don't truck it off site, just basically relocate it.
Yeah, you're talking, I mean, right now you're kind of talking haul trucks. You're talking a different operation than what
Yeah.
I'm planning on bidding. Not gonna lie, I don't have the equipment for that. I have the equipment. I have a guy in a backhoe that's gonna load out lease trucks, and that's what the job was. But ballpark,
Okay.
if you're just kind of looking, I just ran a number. You're looking at, I think there's 18,000 yards on that section. I call it section 1, section A. So
Okay.
ballpark, you're looking at $4 or $5 a yard. So you're looking at 90 grand. Just because that's where our prices are on using the different types of equipment.
So 90 grand just to move it, and another 60 grand, you could have it off the site.
Well, that's a no-brainer for removing that parcel. Is that bid that was given based on doing the whole project, or are they
Well,
separate bids?
we bid at section 1, section 2, and I guess I'd talk with your attorney just to make sure he's comfortable with it, but I think we'd have the flexibility to award either one or both.
We would still eventually though have to move that if you move it, just move it, to move it rather than remove it. Correct?
Right, but I think when
But-
I spoke with Don,
But-
maybe timing was the issue and maybe we could
Right.
get a different bid out for removing the whole pile. We do
Yeah, and I
have
think
Josh-
that's where Joe is going, is it's kind of a no-brainer for 90 grand, just to relocate it and move it onto what would be the forester's parcel. Another 50 or 60, you just truck it and get it off site. I think that's what you were saying, correct, Joe?
Right, I would say just remove the one on the Polyak for now.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
just move it, but actually have it removed, and then we would worry about
get rid of it.
the Forester one at some point, because we're not in a rush, so to say, to move that at this time.
That's
And
correct. Other
That's
than-
that's where Kathy and I talked at. It really doesn't cost anything to rebid it besides the cost of the ad. We can change the dates and then just leave it wide open over the winter months and see what you get back for numbers on getting rid of the rest of it, and kind of come up with a game plan from there.
Are you guys willing to have Josh speak at this moment?
I'm fine.
Okay, go ahead, Josh.
I just giving you a little insight on the industry right now, and I can tell that, yeah, and I knew that bids were gonna be high. I think that you guys stated about 2 or 3 years ago when you looked at the $600,000. Well, our fuel, our off-road fuel is actually $1.50 more expensive than regular diesel right now. So we're paying around $6 just for our fuel to fuel up our machines. On top of that, trucking rates from about 2 or 3 years ago have gone up by $50 an hour. So that's, I mean, I'm right now looking at $140 an hour just on trucking, which I'm leasing out. They're none of my trucks. So it's one of the reasons I'm here right now is to kind of see where you're going with this entire project. Because if you do award it, I'm going to start making phone calls because I got to start getting dirt out of there. The other thing with this, I have spots for this dirt. Now, granted, they're not really that close. They're not going to a pay dump. There's very little dump fees in there. I have rain day dump fees in there, but they're going to sites that I have, Oconomowoc, Pewaukee, Sussex, that I'm taking the dirt. So there's not a lot of fluff in there. It's just prices have skyrocketed that much. I understand, yeah, you can always maybe get a little bit better pricing in the winter, or if you extend the time out, but you're still looking at $140 an hour, fuel prices, and then if you do it during the winter, you're taking it to a dump site, or excuse me, a pay dump, which then you're paying the dump fees. That's my couple of cents on it.
Thank you. What's your thought, Joe?
I mean, at this time, I'm leaning towards having it removed from Polyak and worrying about the other side later. That's where I'm at right now.
When you say removing it, just totally removing it, not moving it, correct?
Correct, when awarding the bid for the first section, the bid A and not bid B, essentially.
Correct.
Paula, what's your thought?
Yeah, I mean, over 800,000 is a lot. I like the way you're thinking about this, Joe. I think that's where I'm going as well with this.
Becky?
Josh, are you willing to do just,
I'd have to look at the bid documents. I was the one that bid this, and I didn't think in your bid documents you had the choice of awarding A or B, or just A or just B. I know A is the more timing thing. I'd have to look at it because I don't think you had that option in there where, I mean, I'm willing to work with you guys definitely, but I got to look at it from my end if that language isn't in there. Because I mean, it's one thing to move 18,000 yards or one thing to move 80,000 yards. And you only had 16 or 6 bid items on the entire thing. So I'm not saying, no, I'm not willing. I think we all got to look at that before something like that is awarded. Because I don't know if the language is in there.
And that's where Kathy and Joe, I was saying, I'll go back and look, and I gotta talk with John. Is just sometimes when we do that, we'll have specific language in the contract that flat out says you're able to bid, the town has the right to award either section 1, section 2, or any combination of, how many sections you have. I gotta go through and see if the flexibility based on the standard contract, if it's in there, that we're able to do that. And if super be willing to do that.
so, at this point, do you want to, make a motion, to award A if approved, if, the bid docs allow? And if not, to, have us go out to bid, to have it moved or removed, just for polyax at this point?
I mean, if we go out to bid again, we're not gonna have that dirt moved by the 4th though.
No, we're not.
No.
I'm okay with awarding the first portion of it, but I'm not okay with doing the whole thing at this time.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. How long is it going to take to make that determination if we can separate the A and the B?
We can try to get a hold of John today.
Okay.
And Josh, perhaps if you could look at as soon as possible.
I'll go back and look at it as well. And the reason or the question I was gonna ask when that determination is gonna be, and I don't know if there's gonna be back and forth on it. It's just realistically, the time stamp of July 4th, I gotta almost be in there Tuesday starting to move dirt, to be honest. I mean, that's kind of my time schedule right now is that.
Okay. Well, we'll try to get an
As soon as
answer.
possible.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to
are
make
we-
the motion to, do you have a motion that we can do for just A with the understanding that if the bid allows, bid docs allow?
I'd have the motion being contingent upon confirmation from the attorney or confirmation on the bid docs or however you want to word that, but have it be a contingent upon that.
I make the motion to approve section A of the bid tabulation documents to Super Western in the amount of $149,025 contingent upon attorney review.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Joe, a second by Linda.
Do we need to make this contingent upon that they can do this?
That's the contingent on the attorney review.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, the next item on the agenda is adjournment.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn made by Supervisor Beal. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we'll have Paula second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. A motion passes 4-0. We are adjourned at 2:24. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Don, you want to give me a call?
Yep, will do.
Thank you.
Bye.